afternoon. My name is Jessica. She is Sharon, and we hope we don't give you much trouble at the time of telling us apart. We also have another partner joining us online. Her name is Melanie. Today we are going to work with the topic engaging students by catering to different learning styles, focused on teenagers at a B1 level. These are the objectives for our presentation. First of all, we are going to talk about theoretical background and how to engage different learning styles. Later, we will concentrate on 3 learning styles and how to engage teenagers at a B1 level, providing a practical example. Finally, we will give a general overview. Let's start with some ideas about theoretical background. We all approach the world with diverse learning styles. In the 20th century, 2 great theories, learning style theory and multiple intelligences theory, have been developed in an attempt to interpret human differences and to design educational models around these differences. Learning styles, which we will be concentrating on in this presentation, emphasize the different ways people think and feel at the time of solving problems, creating products, and interacting with each other. If teachers want to have students' involvement and participation, they must understand the many learning styles. All learners have individual attributes relating to their learning processes. Some people may rely on visual presentations. Others may prefer spoken language. And others may respond better to hands-on activities. In an attempt to integrate and apply learning styles and multiple intelligences theories in the classroom, language teaching has changed a lot in the last decades. And learning styles has been regarded as one of the most important aspects that control the way people learn. It is essential to consider that every single student is absolutely different and requires an individual and personalized structure to their learning process. As I just said, each of us processes and distinguishes information differently according to our personality patterns. It is important for each student to identify his or her own learning style. By recognizing and understanding their own learning styles, they can use techniques better suited to them. This improves the speed and quality of learning. Teachers can be of great help at the time of guiding students to recognize their own learning styles. They can provide them with different tests in order to find out the kind of learners they are. This information will be very useful not only for the students but also for the teacher at the moment of planning. In a class, most of the time you have students representing different learning styles, or students who have more than just one learning style. Some of them may be not only visual, auditory, or kinesthetic, but a combination of 2 or 3 of them. The best way to cater to the different learning styles is including various and varied activities in each class. Activities directed to the different learners, in which everybody's interests and learning styles are considered. Besides, working in groups is one of the best study tips for all learning styles. Students can benefit a lot from working together. They can identify each other's strengths and weaknesses, and interacting in groups with different learning styles can be enriching for all of them. As we have seen, each of us has our own preferred way of learning that is determined by different factors, for example, our cultural and educational backgrounds and also our personalities. Language researchers have categorized various learning styles in numerous ways. Some researchers have identified different perceptual styles, for example, auditory and musical learners, visually and spatial learners, physical or kinesthetic learners. We will summarize the main characteristic of each group, and we will also point out strategies aiming to improve engagement for students of each learning style. To begin with the first one, let's consider auditory and musical learners. Thinking out loud is one thing many auditory learners do. Students with these preferences are more apt to follow instructions they hear or to recall information they has been provided verbally. Auditory learners learn well when aided music, sound, rhyme, rhythm, speaking, or listening. They like to hear solutions and examples explained to them to achieve a better understanding. Ideas to improve their learning could include saying words out loud or hum tones, which plays a key role for keeping musical learners engaged in lessons. In order to engage them, you need to use your voice and also your student's voice. For instance, writing something on the board and read it out loud, working on your delivery so you can engage your students. Additionally, teachers could encourage students to read back their notes to themselves and also to the rest of the class. Other useful strategies could be recording lessons and boosting auditory learners to teach others verbally and also setting them away from distractions. In the second learning style, we have visual and spatial learners. Visual learners like diagrams, charts, and also drawing out concepts. Colors and shapes are useful for them. They usually enjoy learning through visual concepts. Consequently, they understand better when they are given visual instructions. In order to engage visual learners, in the classroom, teachers should include some elements like pictures and maps, diagrams. And if you have a projector or a big screen, try to include relevant images to go along with the course content. Using colors codes and note-taking can be helpful for this kind of learners. The simplest explanation of visual spatial learners is that they generally think first in pictures instead of words. Visual and spatial learners do usually understand reading more easily. Visual and spatial learners usually understand reading more easily if they are taught using the sight or whole word method. Additionally, the physical or kinesthetic learners prefer to learn through movement, and they are also called hands-on learners. They represent the 5% of the population. They are very energetic and they enjoy getting their hands dirty instead of doing reading or writing activities. They also like school activities such as drawing or sculpting. They learn better creating work with their hands since they may have a lot of energy and they need to move. Movement serves as an aid to their memory, and they remember movement from others as well as their own. They may seek out touching and manipulating objects when learning about them. It is of utmost importance that while planning lessons, teachers should take into account the students' level. So to engage students at B1 level through different learning styles, they should consider that students can understand the main points on familiar matters at work, school, leisure, etc. They can deal with situations where the language is spoken and can produce a text on familiar topics or of personal interest. If we consider teenagers, If we consider teenagers in particular, we can say that they learn better through technology or when they are exposed to music or video, since they live surrounded by the new implications modern life has. However, there are plenty useful and efficient methods that teachers can use in their lessons to increase students' understanding and to improve overall comprehension. At the moment of planning motivating activities for teenagers at B1 level, we can find, for example, movies or videos, which students really love. Teachers need to find the way to incorporate them, including activities to practice the language in an entertaining way. There are also many engaging games like Jeopardy or board games, and those will allow students to practice the language and having fun at the same time, which is one of the most important challenges that a teacher may face. Now, Melanie will go on with the following part. To sum up, we believe that considering multiple learning styles when planning a lesson is something that every teacher needs to think about. Being aware of this will promote participation by making the learning process more inclusive, interactive, and interesting. With large classroom, it is not always easy to personalize lessons, but using a mixed learning approach throughout the course can help teachers cater to the different learning styles. Regardless of their learning style, students learn best when they take part in a variety of multisensory activities. As Shannon mentioned, we should focus on the most common learning styles, which are visual, auditory, and kinesthetic, and prepare activities that are suited for this kind of learners. Apart from the example that Melanie proposed, there are multiple ways of catering to the different learning styles. Another good example could be to create a variety of cooperative learning stations where each activity appeals to a different learning style. For example, some students work at a station where they watch or listen to a video, while other students in another station have to use manipulatives to figure out a problem. To finish, we can say that by providing activities that appeal to all students, as well as giving them the opportunity to use their strengths, teachers will be able to meet all their needs. If teachers are able to meet students' needs and make them feel interested and engaged, that means the teacher has done her job.